So in this video we're going to be talking about Old Kingdom Egypt, the heyday and zenith of Egyptian power and grandeur. The dominant factor in Old Kingdom Egypt is the pharaoh. The pharaoh is the almighty king, more powerful than any other kind of king because the pharaoh is the undiluted manifestation of the will of the gods. In other scenarios, in other communities, this might not work so well, but because the Egyptians understand the gods as being benevolent and nurturing, a ruler who is an agent of the gods, therefore, is an instrument of the well-being of the people of Egypt, and so therefore the pharaoh in Old Kingdom Egypt is essentially unchallenged in communities in general, in societies in any period of human history. There are going to be focuses of power that are often in rivalry with each other within each community. And we'll see more examples of this as we go forward. But in Old Kingdom Egypt, there is essentially one focus of power. And in particular, not only does the pharaoh have complete control over the political system and over the public aspects of society, as a manifestation of the gods, as an agent and an epitome of the divine will, and as a physical manifestation of the god Horus in particular. The pharaoh also has a corner on religion and interpretation of the gods as well. The priests are present in ancient Egypt, and have the task of performing the rituals that are part of the Egyptian relationship with the gods. But the arbiter of the gods' relationship with mortals in Old Kingdom Egypt is none other than the pharaoh. This has an interesting effect on society, which is that, amongst other things, there is a smaller gender divide in the public, amongst the ordinary citizenry in Egypt compared to other societies. And the reason for this is somewhat ironic, because the citizen has no political power. All of the political power has been subsumed by the pharaoh. There's very little distinction between the male and the female. And the contrast to this is if you look at other societies where the citizen is greatly empowered, the separation between the male citizenry and the females who are not citizens is vast, both in public and in private. So, the women in ancient Egypt, especially in the Old Kingdom, have more room to breathe, more room to operate in the public sphere, have a greater ability to own property and act in public than in some other societies. But this is a function of nobody having any power but the pharaoh. So this means that the pharaoh's death is of great importance, and this is one of the reasons why the pyramids are developed during the Old Kingdom as not only monuments to the individual pharaohs, but as focuses of the pharaoh's transition to the next life, because the people of Egypt believe in the permanence of the world, that everything is cyclical and therefore returns back to the way it was before. Egyptians believe that their soul and spirit continues in an afterlife, and this is especially true of the pharaoh, who is who goes from being essentially a manifestation of Horus to being a manifestation of Osiris, and the next pharaoh turns that cycle and becomes the manifestation of Horus. And so the pharaoh's death is something that is a sign of continuity rather than a potential crisis or a mark of forthcoming change. And so the main question, therefore, that one might be asking oneself is, when it comes to the pharaoh is all powerful. There is nothing to circumscribe the pharaoh's ability to abuse power and to be the most horrendous and horrific of tyrants and oppressors of his own people, and yet the Egyptian people do not experience this kind of oppression and subjugation, of tyranny. The Egyptian people in general, especially during the Old Kingdom, live a life, of no political power, but of great, comfort and stability, without fear of arbitrary excess from the pharaoh. What's to stop him from doing that? Well, the answer to this lies in the pharaoh's role as agent of the gods. If you understand the gods as being beneficial and nurturing, then the gods can therefore be understood to have a responsibility to be beneficial and nurturing toward mortal humans. They have their part of their function is to take care of the human population, ensure that they are prosperous, and that their society is stable and their future provided for. And so this becomes the role of the pharaoh. The pharaoh is an agent of the gods being nurturing and beneficial. This means that the pharaoh's role is to ensure stability, harmony, and prosperity in society. And in particular, to make sure that there is balance, that there is justice, that there is equanimity, that everything is maintained, that the cycles are preserved in their permanence. The Egyptian word for harmony, balance, and justice is ma'at. And so this is truly the thing that reigns in the absolute power of the pharaoh. In any other society, absolute power leads to corruption and oppression of the masses. One need only look at France before the French Revolution to see an example of the pitfalls of absolute power. But here, the power of the pharaoh politically is absolute, but the pharaoh who is not ensuring the harmony of society, the administration of justice, and the prosperity and comfort of the people, is one who is betraying the responsibility of pharaohdom, is acting against the gods, is a blasphemer, a usurper, would be cast down if such a thing were to ever happen. And so this is the philosophy of the pharaoh. This is one of the reasons why the system of the Old Kingdom, even though it's so extreme in many ways, tends to function very well. The Egyptians also are able to maintain continuity, to maintain permanence by the active use of written records. In order to communicate across space and across time. The hieroglyphs of Egypt are developed in order to record important information, to reinforce the supremacy of the pharaoh, and exist essentially as part of the infrastructure that makes Egypt wealthy and strong. And so, as a result, the Egyptian pantheon, all of the gods perform all different kinds of function, including here we see Anubis is represented as the god involved in death and the underworld. Uh, each of the gods perform a function that is a part of the system of nature, a universe that is as it was, as it will be, a universe that is designed to be orderly and systematic and continuous. And so, therefore, we have an Old Kingdom society that is looked upon when things start to fall apart as being the height and epitome of how a society should be. And all of the recurring attempts to recover and restore the greatness of the Old Kingdom after it had long since ceased to come to be. One of the reasons for this being confined to a particular period of time is that Egypt itself is separated from the world in its earliest days. Egypt is geographically isolated. And so, during the time of unification in the Old Kingdom, it is essentially insular. The deserts to the west and south, the sea to the north and east, no important peoples, the Nubians and Kushites to the south and the Canaanites to the north and east are in a position to be dominated by the far wealthier Egyptians. They pose no threat to them. They pose no cultural impact upon them, and so the Egyptians, as a result, are within this self-contained system, unaffected by the outside world. But as the Bronze Age progresses, the world changes, and Egypt is no longer able to remain isolated. And so in the Old Kingdom, neighboring countries like Kush and Nubia to the south and Punt and so forth, other places in North Africa exist primarily as sources of resources, but the Egyptians don't have a powerful need to expand in terms of empire, in terms of protect themselves. They're already strong and isolated enough by themselves that they don't need to worry about such things. Aggressive imperial expansion is a thing that belongs to a later and more uncertain age, and this is what we'll be talking about in